Where are we going today then, Skipper? Thursday morning?
We're going to the City of Waterford.
City of Waterford. And we're going there because of...
Hamish Mackenzie.
City of Waterford. Hamish Mackenzie.
Yes.
What's Hamish Mackenzie got to do with the City of Waterford?
Well, Hamish Mackenzie, he was a salvage diver that dived on the City of Waterford that was formerly the Skerries. So he dived that in 1970/71, and it was a local boat from New Haven, a beam trawler, name of Alenia, that put them on it. The wreck was completely intact, apart from a funnel which laid on the seabed on her starboard side, and the rudder was displaced also and lay on the starboard side also. Like I say, the bell had the name of the Skerries on it and weighed 90 pounds. The maker's plate was also taken off. The propeller had iron boss, and then the actual fins were non-ferrous blades, each weighing 17 CWTS. Telegraph, steering wheel, pedestal, associated non-ferrous gearing, stunctions, all around the bridge area. They were all taken. So he said, don't waste your time looking for them. There was also a car in it after hold, which Robert probably pointed out to you on the wreck tour. He's sort of saying it seems the engine room had been blown for a condenser and the holds had been blown. And last but not least, there was a hole in the forward hold on the port side where the Marpessa whacked her. So that's probably where she struck and then made it and sunk. Yeah, it's only brass. I'm afraid Hamish has nicked it all.
The SS Skerries was sent down a slipway by Mrs Thompson in March 1921 after she had performed the christening ceremony. Built by the Caledon Shipbuilding and Engineering Company for the cattle trade between Liverpool and Waterford in Ireland, the Skerries then sat at the Stanagate yard of the Caledon Company in Dundee until the revival in the trade made it possible for the Skerries to be finally completed and taken over by the Clyde Shipping Company for whom she had been built. The ship had accommodation for nearly 500 animals and it was powered by a triple expansion engine producing 1,800 horsepower. It gave her a top speed of 13.5 knots. The Skerries seems to have gone about its business. I can't find anything about it other than it being laid up from time to time when there wasn't enough cargo. In 1945 the Skerries was withdrawn from service as it was requisitioned, which caused a bit of an argument with the Waterford Harbour Board, although the owners had no choice as it was ordered by the War Ministry at the time. It was reinstated by January 46, so maybe it was being used to bring equipment back from overseas after the war. But the Skerries was definitely being used from 1943 to replace another ship that was also requisitioned for war duties. But it was doing much of the same work, sort of just running across the Irish Sea up until 46. Well, I'm not entirely sure where we've landed on this ship, but not too far away you come to these cranes. It didn't just have winches, this thing had cranes on it, steam powered. They sit on a revolving base. You can see all the winding gear there, and the jib would have come out the top. Not sure where they are, perhaps they've fallen down into the holds. There's a remains of some railings there. And just as I cut in left there, you can see that's a hatch combing, sort of raised edge around what would effectively just be a big open hole in the ship where the holds are. So you've got these combings that go around it to, in rough weather, when the waves are breaking over the ship, you don't want all the waves going straight down into the hold. Many a ship's been lost like that when they've lost their canvas tops on them and then filled up with water. So that's what they're there for. Just coming across the other side, and there's the other crane on the port side. Yeah, a little bit more information on the ship. The Skerries was sold in 1946 to Palgrave Murphy in Dublin. That company became Sarostat Continental Shipping Company. It's actually the same company, same directors at the same address, so I think they just changed the name or something. Skerries it was at that point that the Skerries was then renamed the SS City of Waterford. But it was not the City of Waterford, which was in a battle with German aircraft or in scrapes with U-boats, although it was owned by the same company, this Palgrave Murphy and Sarostat Continental, and it also had one of their company's captives on board. for the German aircraft attack in May 1941, which was Captain G Gibbons. When that City of Waterford was finally sunk after a collision while on convoy duty in September 1941, the captain was a Thomas Alpin. But it was Captain G Gibbons who was back in charge on the morning of April 14th, 1949, when the Greek steamer Marpessa collided with and sank the City of Waterford. There's a couple of these little cubicles, these little washrooms. If you go after that one, you go next door. Beware of the huge conger sitting underneath that sink. But yeah, still got the taps on in this one. Yeah, if you just keep heading over to your left, it's right over on the port side and you find the toilet down there. We're still not entirely sure whether we're swimming up towards the bows or the stern. We've gone down, we wanted to swim up to the stern to have a look for this car, but we haven't got our bearings by this point. I think we're going over some sort of ventilation shaft, and then there'll be looks like an old doorway coming into view there. Jamie's just pointing out, we keep seeing more and more of these on the ships now. We think they're old fire hoses. I think we're getting up towards, definitely coming up towards the bows now. There's the obligatory mooring bollards that you always see. There's a real large winch, possibly an anchor winch, or just that big old winch for the forward hold. But yeah, by now we sort of sussed out we are at the bow, and we're just about to drop down over the other side. Drop down over the side, and you'll see the anchor still hanging in its hawse pipe. You definitely want to come back and do this ship in some better visibility, rather than this plankton blizzard that was blowing while we was down there. Yeah, so we're just coming right around the bow of the ship now. Around the other side, the other anchor's still hanging in its hawse pipe on that side as well. If we had decent visibility, that'd make a really nice picture. Yeah, you just see the anchor hanging there. Right, flying off back down the other side past the mooring bollards. Some more intact railings on this side of the ship. Jamie's found a few bits of pottery to have a look at. I think that's another fire hose. We're back where we started now. We're back at those steam-driven cranes. So now we know where we're going. We can go and have a look at this, see if there's anything remaining in this old car that Hamish said about. Right, so we're making our way aft now. So the first thing we're going to come across is the boiler. There's this ship did have 2 boilers, but somebody's obviously trawled up this huge Admiralty anchor somewhere along the line. Best place to dispose of a large ship anchor is to dump it on a wreck. And it looks like when they dumped this one on, it's dumped it right on the boiler and absolutely obliterated it. You can see all the heating pipes outside of the boiler. It's all been smashed out, and you can see those flat metal plates. What they are, that's like the gangways that you'd have been walking up around the stockholds and around the engines. Not sure what this is. It sits right next to the engine. Well, my guess was it was a pump. And here comes the engine's interview now. Triple expansion, 3-cylinder, producing 1,800 horsepower, and a top speed of 13.5 knots. Not sure what that is that Jamie's swimming over. I don't know. We were both guessing it was a condenser. Right, we come off the back of those engines now. We drop down. We're into the rear hold where we wanted to try and find this car, and I think that's it there. Well, it's the remains of it anyway. Not much left. Just the rear axle and some tyres. There's definitely a car in there though. Oh, Hamish was right. He wasn't knocked out his head. He did actually see a car down there. Jamie's just pointing out another anchor he's spotted. We're right up in the stern now. That's a really large winch that goes right across the stern of the City of Waterford. Right up onto the very stern, and there we have another helm. The auxiliary steering that would have been sits right on the back of the ship. If you look at the pictures that I put up on the start of the video, you'll see the big ship's wheel that would have been sat on it. Expertly demonstrated by Jamie there. Yeah, I think it's enclosed in a big sort of wooden box affair in the pictures. Steering quadrant. Now we've racked up a bit of deco by this point, and it's time to get out of there. No point going down and having a look, as Jamie said at the beginning of the video, to have a look at the rudder and the prop, because it's not there anymore. Although there's a possibility that the rudder is actually laying down just under the sand. We didn't actually go down there to have a look, so there's a possibility the rudder's just laying on the ground. But we do know that the prop's definitely not there. And for anyone disappointed not to have seen it, here's a picture. And here's a picture of Hamish Mackenzie going in to get it. If anyone knows of any old salvage divers that used to work out of New Haven back in the 70s, yeah, we're always interested in talking to them and hearing what they've got to say. But if you got this far, thanks for watching. Next video should be on the Elizabeth Pritchard, the ship we believe we might know the identity of. Yeah, so thanks again for watching, and see you soon.